Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Kimbaskrafts. My name is Kim, and if this is the first time clicking on a video, welcome. I hope you enjoy it. If you're returning from a previous video, as always, thank you for your continued support. We are here today to do a whip and chat. I'm sorry it's been a while. If you've noticed, I haven't posted in a while. If you haven't, well, welcome back. I'm glad that you clicked on this video anyway. Yeah, I'm doing a whip and chat, and I'm covering up my canvas right now because you don't know what I'm working on because I haven't been posting anything. But I do have a unboxing and a kit and chat that I recorded a few weeks ago. Let me put it to you this way. I started this canvas on June 3rd. Today is June 22nd. It's Sunday, June 22nd. I started this canvas on June 3rd. So I kitted it up probably the day before or so, around about theirs. And yeah, we are going to work on it together. I'm only going to show you the square I'm working on. And yeah, you can see the kit up, so you'll have to see the next video. I'll make sure that that's the next video I post if you want to know what canvas I'm working on. Okay, I thought that would be fun. So I'm going to go ahead and get set up here, and then I'm going to explain to you where I've been and what's been going on in the world of Kimba. And yeah, I hope you enjoy the video. If it's a whip and chat, if you're new to diamond painting videos and YouTube, whip and chat simply means that I'm going to sit here and talk to you about things, stories, life, diamond painting, whatever, and yeah, work on my work in progress, my whip. So I'm going to whip away and chat away, and you guys can do whatever you want while I do that. Okay, I'll be right back. 1 second. Okay guys, so you may or may not be able to see the brand of the canvas based on when I zoom in. I can't tell yet, but I'll just tell you it is an Oroloa canvas, and I feel like you'll be able to tell when you see how beautifully these click together. It is a square drill diamond painting, and you have not seen it on my channel. If you are one of my subs and have been here before, I do a lot of unboxings for Oroloa, and I absolutely love their canvases. And yeah, I chose this one as my next canvas. So, you know, if you want to go on their website and try to figure it out, be my guest. But I will be releasing the kit up and everything very soon after I release this video. So yeah, I'm excited about it. I will say that I have not really been diamond painting very much. I started, this is the first row, and I started this on June 3rd. Like I said, it's June 22nd, so clearly I have not been diamond painting very much. I hardly make it into this room right now, and I've done 1, 2, 3, 4 days since June 3rd. 4 days in this room. Yeah, it feels kind of weird. Being in this room, it feels kind of weird doing a whip and chat. And let me explain why. So, let me just pick my color here. I have my pen here from Pen Turnings. They are no longer with us. They stopped making pens, and I just felt like this really matched the canvas. You don't know what the canvas is, but you're gonna have to trust me. It has a fatter side and a thinner side. I've really been enjoying this pen. And then I'm using my Bella Art Diamonds tray, and I'm going to actually reload this multi-placer here because I had a little bit to finish of this last square, and it could definitely use a little reloading. So I'm going to take out the old. I just take a sharp tweezer and I just dig that out. And I'm using Joy's Putty. All my go-tos. Guys, I'm not hard to figure out. I feel like a broken record with my stuff. The most I guess, what is it? Diverse I get with my accessories is the pens. I do have from a few different companies. The trays, sometimes I'll use my DP Gal Creations trays. Okay. But I always use my Joy's putty. I haven't found a putty that I like as much yet, so I stick with what I like. Pretty simple like that. And this tray, yes, it's very small, but I just really love this tray. I love how wide my stomach is making weird noises. I love how wide the grid is on this tray. So I just feel like it makes it for easy diamond painting. All right. So where have I been? I mean, I've been here. Like, as I said, I haven't been diamond painting very much. I don't know why my stomach is making all these noises. It's like it knows I want it to be quiet. My stomach makes the like, Bob is like, is that you or the dog? All the time. I'm like, it's me. And it happens a lot after I eat too. Like, I just had peanut butter and jelly toast with coffee before I started this, so that it doesn't just happen when I'm hungry. Like, it happens, I guess, when it's digesting food too. I don't know why it has to tell everyone it's working, but my stomach is a loud mouth. So I apologize if you can hear grumbling and rumbling. It's not hungry. It's just trying to figure out what to do with the food I just gave it. So anyway, yeah, okay, let me see where to start. Okay, my son has been coming over every week. It's usually Wednesday night. And my daughter, my son, and I do game night once a week. And we play board games together. And I love it. I really look forward to these board game nights. My son has a pretty large collection of board games, and every time he gets a new one, he brings it over, and you know, if we like it, we play it again. We'll play multiple rounds of different games, or we'll play multiple games in the night. I mean, we're up till like midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning. And one night we were playing our board game, and I looked up a game that I used to play when I was little, because we were just talking about games, and I showed my son. It was called, there's something, the Titanic. It was not a, I don't think it's a game that like they would make today, but it was like and I loved it, guys. I loved it when I was little. It was my favorite game to play. And you had to try to save as many people, as many passengers as you could before the Titanic sunk. And you got them on, like, you had to go like around, the board was the Titanic. And I can't remember the name of it, but if I look it up, like I looked it up and I found it, and I was showing my son. I'm like, this was my favorite game growing up. I didn't own it. My best friend's family owned it. They had a huge closet in their hallway full of games. And whenever my best friend, when I was little, whenever he and I wanted to play a game and we would go to the closet, I would always pull it out. And he was cool. Like, he would play at least one round with me, but it was always my go-to. Like, I would beg to play this game. And I just loved it so much. I don't know why. And so I looked it up, I showed it to my son, and he was like, oh, interesting, you know. And I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to my friend, because we still talk, believe it or not, my childhood friend, my childhood best friend. He's a year younger than me, and I've talked about him before. We got our guppy badges together to go swimming at the local pool. And because of him, you know, we still talk, because he had texted me out of the blue, and now we both text each other out of the blue every once in a while, and we just like, hey, how are you, blah, blah, blah. I send him pictures of Mugi. It's really cool, like, because we were best friends from, I was 4 and I was 4 when I moved there, so he was 3. He's a year younger than me. And until 5th grade when I moved out of that neighborhood. So anyway, it was a long time. And we played together almost every day. And we had one of those childhoods where, you know, you got a rake out of your shed and you put it on your handlebars and you went neighbor to neighbor asking if you could rake their leaves for money. You know, we would go out together and do that and shovel snow and ride our bikes to the pool and walk to the 7-Eleven. So we had a really, one of those really cool, like, old time that you see in the movies, childhoods where we played together like that. We played in the dirt, we climbed trees. So anyway, I sent him the picture, and I was like, remember this game? And he writes me back and he's like, oh my God, I haven't thought about this game in like 40 years. It's crazy to think that, you know, we've known each other for over 40 years, you know. And I was like, I used to love this game. And I said, you know, my son's over and we're playing board games. And I was showing them this game that we used to play. And he wrote back, that's so cool that you're still that close to your kids. And I was like, oh yeah, we play every week. You know, and he's like, I hope when my kids are older, I have a relationship like that with them. And I was like, yeah, I love it. And it really got me thinking, guys. Like, I kind of take it for granted. I do. Well, I had been. You know, there were many nights where my son would be like, oh, what are you doing? And I'm like, oh, I just sat down in my room. I just want to diamond paint. I've been going all day. I'm tired. And I would not get together. And so I decided to like restructure my priorities, because I realized that I do take this for granted. I'm very lucky. My son is 25, that he even wants to come over and hang out with me at all, let alone on a weekly basis, you know. And I thought to myself, you know, there will come a time, probably sooner than later, where that will stop, because, you know, he does have a significant other, but like they will be living together, or they'll get married, they'll have kids. And, you know, I won't have these moments. You know, I won't have these moments. I won't have opportunity to say, I'm tired, I want to diamond paint. Like, I just won't even have these opportunities, right? And so, man, my stomach is really annoying me. And so I decided that I'm not going to do that anymore. I'm not going to ever say, no, I just want to diamond paint. Because diamond painting is going to be here. Like, don't get me wrong. I love diamond painting. You guys know I love diamond painting. I love diamond painting. You know, it's very important to me. And I think I'll always love diamond painting. That hasn't changed. But I realize, you know, that I don't want to keep putting it first all the time, which is like, I used to feel guilty if I went a day without diamond painting. Like, and honestly, up until recently, like, because when I decided to rearrange my priorities, you know, it didn't come without some guilt, for sure. You know, you don't just turn that off. That doesn't just stop happening. And I would feel guilty if I didn't post or record a video. Like and that was never pressure put on by you guys. You guys have been amazing, you know, very kind to me. You know, I don't have a schedule, yet you still subscribe. Like, you know, you watch my videos as I slowly, you know, trickle them out. I'm a lot slower than most creators, and, you know, I'm very blessed in that sense. The guilt that I felt was all self-made. It was not created by you guys at all. You guys have made, you know, being a creator very easy for me, and I appreciate that, and I thank you all. So I don't want you to think that I felt, you know, I just felt guilt because, I mean, that's how we are, right? When we do something, we like to see it through, we like to, and all that stuff. And so it did come with some guilt, but kind of like, and I feel like you're all going to be able to relate to this. I feel like this can't be just me. But, okay, you know how you have a friend who you're like, oh, this just happened to so-and-so. Let me call them and see how they're doing. Or let me text them and ask them, you know, check on them. And you don't do it, right? And then next thing you know, a day becomes 2 days, and then 3 days. And then it's a week. And every day that passes, you're like, oh, man, you know, you're embarrassed. Now all of a sudden it's like, now you're putting it off. You're purposely putting it off, right? And you're like, oh, like, I'm embarrassed. And then it's 2 weeks, and then it's 3 weeks. And the further out it goes, the easier it becomes to just, like, not do it, right? That's kind of like how making the videos were for me. Like, the first week it was like I felt stressed. And I was like, oh, I have these recorded videos. Let me edit them. I'm going to sit and edit them. I'm going to edit these videos. I'm going to put these videos, I'm going to schedule them out. And I'm going to get these up on there, on the YouTube. And then it was like I wasn't making it into the room. It's the only time I really can edit. And so I'm like, what, like day after day after day is passing. And then I'm like, I have to start a new project. I don't have anything to work on. So then I'm recording more videos and I'm not editing any of them. And it just spiraled and it kept going. And then it just got easier to not do anything. Does that make sense? And yes, I have been keeping very busy. So, you know, the other side of that is that I have been getting more done, like cleaning. And my house has been consistently spot on. Which is how, like, okay. Guest worthy, okay? Like, I felt like I was in a constant state of, if I have anyone come over or stop by, it's not, like, nobody can come in. Do you know what I mean? Like, I have to straighten up. And I'm like, I just want a house that is organized and clean, where if someone just stopped over, I'd be like, come on in, you know, and I wouldn't feel like, oh my God, let me hurry up and do this and do that. So I've been on top of my house cleaning. I've been getting other things done that I tend to put off. I got my mammogram. I scheduled all these doctor's appointments. I got my blood work that I have been trying to get done for a long time. Like, I finally went and got that done. So I've been getting a lot of things that I tended to put off done. I've not been I have been watching some TV though. So like for a while there, I wasn't watching any TV unless I was diamond painting. I've been actually sitting in the living room with Bob, and we've been watching things together. So, and I guess I just needed that time away. I also understand that, you know, you guys know I'm going back to school, and my classes start in July, that I'm not going to be able to do as much in here. And I guess I'm kind of like preparing myself for that as well. All right, I had to like walk away to try to get my stomach to stop grumbling. Anyway, so you guys know what I'm talking about. Like, you put it off, and then it just gets easier and easier. And that's kind of like what happened with me in the recording and stuff. And I've just been getting my life in order. You know, I did like so many things that I've been saying I want to do, like just go to the car wash and vacuum out my car and clean my mats, and like all this stuff that every week I'd be like, I'm going to get this done this week, and then not get it done, you know? And you know how that stuff weighs on you, you know, just sitting there, and you're like, I'll do it next week. I'll do it next week. I'll get my labs done next week. I'll fast next week. So I guess, took some time to just get all this stuff that I needed to address and organize. I think a lot of it is knowing that I'm going back to school and not wanting all this stuff to follow me into this new adventure or endeavor. You know, I'm going back to school. I'm much older. My memory is questionable. I did a dementia test. I'm still like texting my aunts about my grandmother's dementia. I was at work the other day, and I had to hook the pacer pads up to the defibrillator, and I was holding the adapter, and I'm going, there's a piece, and this nurse is like, you're holding it, and I'm like, huh? Yeah. Like I've never done it before. It's just like stuff like that is happening that I'm just like, oh my God, am I getting dementia? And, you know, I'm going back to school, so I guess this is going to be a huge clue about how horrible or maybe hopefully decent my memory is. I don't know. I used to have the best memory in the, like, I mean, like, I used to joke around and say, like an elephant, and tap my head. You know, I'm certainly not doing that anymore. But, so I didn't want a lot of stuff, all this stuff hanging over me. While I'm trying to navigate school on top of it, you know. I also had to do a lot of stuff to, and I think I might have talked about this in my kitten chat, like do things to be fully enrolled. And oh, there's the Mugi bear. She wants to come in. She's probably like, oh my God, you're in the room. I haven't slept in that room in a minute. You gonna lay down in here? She's such a good girl. So I do have news on Mugi. She has been limping still, and you know, I took her to the vet twice about this limp, and both times the vet said that she thought it was growing pains. And, you know, she said, oh, give her the NSAID and the anti-inflammatory and all this. And I would take her to the dog parks, and people would be like, your dog's limping. And I'm like, I know. I took her to the vet twice. Like I don't see it, or I mean, it's pretty obvious. And so finally, I was like, you know what? Something's not right. Like, she's limping. I mean, it's obvious. Everybody points it out every time she does it. It's intermittent. But like nobody else's dog limps, you know? I mean, like, I see so many dogs a week, so many dogs, big dogs, small dogs, overweight dogs, and none of them limp. Old dogs, 14-year-old dogs, 18-year-old dog doesn't limp. So what's wrong with my dog who's a year old? Like, why is this? I don't. So I went back to the vet and I said, listen, I think we should x-ray her. Like this, well, I called them. I said, I'd like to get an x-ray of my dog's leg. She's still limping. I'm not sure which one it is. Like, I believe it's her left, but I can't really tell. You know, I took a really good video of her limping, and I slowed it down, like really slow, and I played it for the vet, and she also felt like, yeah, it was the left. And then she was, you know, manipulating her on the table, and she was bending her front leg a certain way, and she kind of, Mugi put her mouth around her hand, like she didn't like what she was doing. And she's like, it's her shoulder. And honestly, I was thinking to myself, I don't know. Like, I think you just were like moving her leg like in a really weird way. Like, that looked uncomfortable to me. And there's my stomach. I don't know why. And so she said, well, we're gonna have to x-ray her shoulders too. And so she said, did she eat today? And it was 10:45, and I was like, yeah, she ate. And I took her to the dog park to run her a little bit before I went, just so that, you know, I thought we were gonna just x-ray her leg, and I wanted her to be still and like be a little tired. So I thought that, you know, so she drank a lot of water. And she's like, well, we're gonna have to sedate her for her shoulder. Can you come tomorrow? And I was like, no, I can't. I had plans to go see a bunch of friends. We just found out our one friend has stage 4 cancer, and we had planned this months ago. I don't really want to talk about that, and it's not really my, like, I don't really want to put all that out there. It's been difficult. And anyway, so I wasn't going to miss that. I was like, no, I can't. Like, this has been in the works for months. I had even scheduled for her to be in daycare because, you know, my daughter was going to pick her up and all this stuff. So, and she's like, well, we can do it today. There's been a lot of cancellations, so you're going to have to leave her here. And I was like, say what now? I just wasn't expecting to leave her. So yeah, I had to leave her there. And it felt very weird because I just was not expecting to have to leave her. So, you know, now all of a sudden I'm leaving without my dog, and I felt awful because they made me put her in the crate, and she's scared. Like, her back leg was actually shaking because she's like, why are you putting me in here? And then I had to walk away and leave her. Like, I was like, oh my God, she's gonna hate me. So anyway, they were like, you're going to be able to pick her up between 7 and 9 at night. Yes. And so they told me I could come at 7. I called them. I was like, I'm just calling to see how she's doing. And they said she's all done. She's recovering well, and you can come at 7. So I go at 7. And the x-rays were $720. I pay that, and then the vet takes me into a room, and she tells me, you know, she opens up every single one. She goes over every single one, and she tells me they don't see anything. They think it's growing pains. Everything looks normal. Everything looks healthy. And she's like, you know, I can send it off to the radiologist to be officially read if you would like, you know, but there's nothing here that, you know, even looks suspicious to us. And I felt like, geez, I just spent $720 on these x-rays. Like, I might as well send them off to be officially read, and, you know, I can either know that there's absolutely nothing wrong, and I can put this to bed, and when someone says to me, your dog is limping, I could say, I know, and it cost me $1,000. There's nothing wrong. Okay, 10 x-rays later, we're good. Okay, just know that she's been taken care of. So I said, yeah, I want to send them off. So I paid another $170, and I sent the x-rays to the radiologist. And we go home, and she is like loopy. She's like drunk. Her depth perception is off. She's trying to jump on the couch. It's catching her back feet. She's like she's walking like she, you know, is 2 bottles of wine in. She's a mess. You know, we go to bed early. I sleep with her out in the living room because I didn't want her to go all the way up on the bed. And we wake up the next morning, and I go to take her out, and she has a normal pee. And then we're walking around the block, and she's squatting like every house, every other house. I'm just like, wait, why are you doing this? And she's like trying to pee and like nothing's coming out, or a dribble or a drop is coming out. And I'm just like, does she have a are you serious? I just spent $1,000 at this vet and I pick her up and she's got a UTI. Like, you've got to be kidding me. So, I mean, literally 20 times around the block. Literally, she tries to pee 20 times around the block. I get back home, I call them. I'm like, I just had my dog at your vet, at your place yesterday. She was sedated for x-rays. I spent over $900, and she wakes up this morning and I think she has a UTI. And they're like, okay, well, you can bring a sample in and we can test it. So the next time I took her out, I captured a sample. We hopped in the car. I drive it over there. And she has a UTI. So I guess they didn't take her out the whole time she was there because, you know, she was sedated, and she doesn't cry to like go out. That's not, she's never done that ever. Like, not even as a puppy. She knows to ring the bell. But even if like there is no bell, she'll just walk over to the door and stand there and stare at it. Like, she doesn't tell you she has to go out. So if she's just sitting in the crate, she's just gonna sit there and wait for someone to take her out. The poor thing. And you know, I took her to the dog park, so she drank a lot of water. Anyway, you could tell she was uncomfortable. I felt bad for her. In fact, here's a picture of her. She looked sick. Like, the next morning, she just looked sick. So anyway, they gave me antibiotics. That was another $80. Now, I got a lot of this money back. I just keep harping on it because I don't know how people have more than one dog, because like this was doing me in, you know what I mean? So anyway, she's worth it. She's worth every penny. So anyway, as we're there, the vet is sitting out there talking to me, you know, showing me her urine sample and like explaining the study. And she asked someone to see if the x-ray results are back. And they were, so they printed them up, they come out with it. And she looks at it and she's like, okay, it says that she has very mild elbow dysplasia, degenerative joint disease in both elbows, is what it said. And then it said it recommends that I take her to an ortho surgeon for a consult, just due to her age. Like, I don't think they mean, you know, that she needs surgery based on the film, but like, you should have a professional look at these films and determine, you know, a plan of care, because, you know, the vet was like, listen, she's going to be on these elbows, you know, for hopefully another 9-10 years. So you want to like minimize, you know, the progression of the disease, because it is a progressive disease, as much as possible. So yeah, I made an appointment. We go on Wednesday to the ortho doctor the ortho surgeon, and see what he says. Like, everyone's like, well, you know, the first thing they're going to tell you is that you better keep her weight down, which her weight is down. Her weight is perfect. She's perfect. Like, she's not overweight by any means. And the vet even said that. The vet said, you know, weight is going to be a huge thing, and you know, she's perfect where she is. But I need to find out more things. Like, I have her on a joint supplement. Does he think it's a good one? Does he recommend a different one? Do I have to limit her exercise? Because it's very difficult with her, you know, if she doesn't get enough exercise. She gets a little crazy. She gets a lot crazy. So I gotta figure out, like, you know, and I asked the vet, I said, you know, did I over-exercise her? Is that why this happened? And she said, no, this is a congenital disease. And she said, you know, this is something that she was born with. And so could it have been because I spayed her too soon? You know, I spayed her at 6 months, and now I'm reading all this stuff about, you know, and everybody I meet, like, they don't spay their dog until they're like two. I don't even know how I would have socialized her, because, and they're saying, you know, the hormones, especially for the large breed dog, it's good for their growth plates and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, did I spay her too soon? And the vet was like, no. Now, this is the vet that recommended I spay her. And she said, listen, you basically eliminated her chances of getting breast cancer by spaying her before her first heat. And she said that every heat that a dog has increases their chance of having breast cancer. And I was like, okay, I guess that made me feel better. I know that a lot of Rotties, every owner that I've ever talked to who's had a Rottie said that their Rottie died of cancer. So I don't know. Anyway, so I am going to ask these of the ortho too, just so that I know. You know, what else can I do? Is there... Everyone's like, he's going to say water therapy. But, I mean, like, for how long? Just until she stops limping? I don't... Because is it like a flare-up that she's limping? Or is this just something that she's going to have forever? Because there are dogs with this disease that don't limp, right? I mean... Because I don't meet any dogs that limp, so it's very confusing. Anyway, how's everybody been doing? I can't believe my stomach. I might have to come back, because I can't. See, I think eating before I record is good to prevent it, and then no. Stomach's like not good. But you see how beautifully these come together? I also want to start studying for the CCRN, the Critical Care certificate. I've been doing critical care for years and years and years. I'm not certified. I just never wanted to study for anything. I still don't really want to study for anything, but I want to kind of advance. I was telling my son, I wish I had advanced when I was younger. But I don't know what I would have done. I don't know. I mean, like, I really like the idea of mental health nurse practitioner, and that's still probably where I'm headed. But when I was younger, I wanted to do CRNA, which is Certified Registered Nurse Anesthetist, which is, you know, a nurse that provides anesthesia. And everyone I know that's done that loves that. But I just don't, it would be a lot. Like, I would have to take out loans to pay my mortgage. And I mean, I would be going to, it's basically medical school. Like, it's basically like going to medical school. And I would be there with a bunch of 20-year-olds running circles around me. I'd be like, ah. And not just that, like, I was telling my friend, I'm like, you know, by the time I graduate with my BSN and get accepted into a program and start and finish the program, which is 3 years long, I would be like 56 years old. And, you know, if I retired at 65, that's 9 years. That's just 9 years of that career. And, you know, am I going to make enough to justify all the loans I have to repay? And, like, I don't think that it would be worth it. Now, if I had my BSN and I could apply, that's a different story, but I don't. And, you know, they say you can't work. The idea of going to that schooling, though, sounds like so much fun. It sounds like fun to me now. All right, wait. I'll be right back. I need to get a drink. Guys, it's good things. Good things never change. It's the next morning. No, my stomach would not stop. It was like upset or something. And I waited and waited and waited, and finally I'm like, let me go to bed and get a good night's sleep, and then tomorrow I'll have time to do more. So it is the next day. I'm going to finish this Whip and Chat. But my husband and I have, well, first I wanted to tell you about our trip. We finally took the dog, away. I've been dying to do this. I've been dying to rent a place and take our dog away. And we went with my best friend and her dog, which is like her best friend. Our dogs are friends. I mean, they love each other. They're just so cute. When we got there first, and when my friend got out of the car with her dog and they saw each other, they were just, it was like getting two toddlers together. Like, oh, by the way, your friend's here. It was hilarious. I mean, they were just ecstatic to see each other and just running all around. So we had to rent a place that allowed dogs, and I found this place and I sent it to my friend, but she was at work at the time, and she loves to go away. Like, she goes away 2, 3, 4 times. No, 3, 4 times a year. I can't afford to do that. So, like, this is the first time that I had been away. Well, we went to Florida, but that was for my, this is the first, let's put it this way. This is the first, like, kind of small vacation that Bob and I planned, you know, because we wanted to go somewhere. And because we did go to Florida, and yes, we had a good time, and it was just, and, you know, seeing his family, it was really nice. But we couldn't bring our dog. It wasn't something that we planned, because, like, we're like, oh, we want to go to Florida. We went for family, you know. The last time we've planned something where it was like, let's go away, was, I think it was in like 2020, to be honest with you. If like I can't remember the last time Bob and I planned something where we actually went away. Is that crazy? But anyway, I digress. The point is this. We only went for 2 nights, and we went up. It was just 2.5 hours away. It was up North Jersey. And we wanted to go to this dog park up there. It's called Wantage Dog Park, and it was the largest dog park. It's supposedly 8 acres. It didn't feel or look 8 acres at all, but it was gorgeous. It was a very nice park. It was very well kept. They had plenty of shaded seating. Yeah, we really, really enjoyed it. But that's the point. That's the whole reason why we went up there. And then we wanted to take them on a hike. We were hoping to go to a waterfall, but a lot of the waterfalls up there were actually not dog friendly, which was disappointing. And we just didn't feel comfortable not following the rule. Because I know my girlfriend said, she's like, well, I took my dog on that trail, not realizing it, and nobody said anything. Everybody was really nice. And you know, and then on the way back, I saw this big sign that said no dogs, and I was like, oh my gosh, nobody's. And but she had a lab at the time, and I'm sorry, but I do feel like people are afraid of my dog when they first see her. Even though she's the friendliest and sweetest dog, I can tell people are very weary of her. She's 86 pounds now. She's large, and she's a Rottweiler, and she can look scary because she'll stare at people. She'll just sit there and stare at you, and you can think to yourself, like, what is she looking at? So I get it. I'm not, you know, but I also am very self-conscious of it. Not self-conscious, but I guess conscious of it. Like, even at the dog park, she now makes a lot of I can't even remember if I talked about this last night. This is where I'm saying my memory. Like, I don't remember if I told you this story. That's scary. See, this is I do this kind of stuff and then I start worrying about the dementia thing. But also because, like, I tell these stories to people in real life and then I can't remember if I said it in here talking to myself and you guys, or if I'm remembering telling this story to someone in real life. Like, that's another problem, because I can remember saying this, I just don't remember when. Anyway, you would think I would remember if it was last night. My point is this, like, now when she plays, she makes a lot of noise, growling. It sounds horrible and vicious, and she, but she's just vocal. Like, I mean, I really wish she wouldn't do it, but, you know, she's a dog, and that's her instinct, is to, like, you know, growl and, like, and she chases dogs with her mouth open and she's growling. She looks vicious, and, like, I can tell when owners are nervous, and I can tell when owners are, and I'm like, it's like, you know, when you have, when you have that person that you have to make excuses for, and you're like, oh, he was just tired, he's not here because he's tired, or he said that because he was upset, or, you know, that's what I feel like I do with my dog a lot at the dog park. I'm like not making excuses, but just trying to explain her behavior, because they're looking at her like, you know, is she friendly? Like, what is she doing? And then it's people who know her, because, you know, I've been taking her out, and a lot of people know her, and they know she's completely harmless. And, you know, so every time I go to the dog park, I see somebody that I know, I always say hi to them and their dog, so that people that don't know me and don't know her can relax a little bit, because they'll be like, oh, she's, you know, she's been here before, they know her. But it's like hard to explain. Like, I can feel their hesitation, and they're looking at my dog like, are you gonna bite my dog? Or are you, you know, and I do kind of, I guess I helicopter the way I helicopter my kids, you know, and I'll be like I'll grab her harness and, like, tell her to calm down. And, you know, because I remember being that person, like, constantly nervous that their dog was going to attack my dog, because she was bullied a lot, you know. So I don't want anyone to experience that, and it be, you know, my dog. But anyway, my point being is that, I don't know what my point is. So I didn't feel comfortable. Well, first of all, I just didn't feel comfortable breaking the rules if it said no dogs, and I know that beforehand. Like, I'm not gonna take my dog. And second of all, it's not like she's like this yellow lab that nobody cares about. Like, people tend to care when they see her, and, you know, if they feel uncomfortable, like, you know, I can see us getting yelled at, like, you know, you know, there's not supposed to be any dogs here, and I'm not out to ruin anybody's trip, you know what I mean? Like, I'm just not interested in doing that. So I said, I told my friend I'm not comfortable going, you know, where she's not allowed to be. And so we weren't able to actually go to any waterfalls, which is what I really wanted to do with her. And I wanted her to be able to, like, well, I wanted to go to some water, someplace with water, because she loves to, like, run in the water. So I was picturing, like, a waterfall that had, you know, that we could wade in at the bottom. But a lot of the waterfalls that she was showing me, it's like you walk over a bridge, you can't even get to the waterfall, you know. So anyway, we ended up not doing that. What we did go is we went to a place called High Point, New Jersey, which is, it has a monument and it's the highest point in New Jersey. And we did get some pictures. I'll insert our pictures here. So you can see them, and I'll do a little voiceover. So this is at the largest dog park. There was some props there. We got the dogs on. I cut my friend out because she doesn't like that photo of her. Here's a picture of Moogs in the train, and then we got her dog in the other one. This is at the High Point, where that's Bob, me and Moogie. You can't really see us there, but here's a picture of us. And then this is her in the water at the dog park, just showing how much she just loves the water and how good she is with it. It's a lot of fun.
You feel better?
And there's her buddy. So we had a great time. The Airbnb I was pretty disappointed in. For a number of reasons. So it says on there river views and river access, and yeah, it had neither of those. There were river views, but you had to like basically stand on the edge of the property and look through a forest for it. And the pictures that they showed was basically they went down to the river's edge and they took photos and made it look like it was, you know, the backyard view, and that you could walk up to it, and that wasn't the case at all. It was very deceiving, the photos and everything. And the property was gross. They didn't do any kind of landscaping. There was weeds and tall grass overgrown in all the beds, and the backyard, it just felt dirty. Like we thought we were gonna have a fire and like have the river out there, but like the grass was overgrown around the fire pit, and they had like this old crickety dirty swing, and then they had these like plastic patio chairs that were stacked on top of each other, and they were just covered in dirt. And I did tell my husband to pack camping chairs, because they had what looked like tree trunks cut around it. I just was like, I'm not going to sit out here. It's not pretty. Like, it looks dirty, and you know, I just am not comfortable sitting out here. So we never even got firewood. The inside was pretty. It was updated until you looked like a little harder. Like, you know, when you first walk in, it was like, oh wow, that's gorgeous. It is like it is pictured in the actual Airbnb. And overall, the inside of the house, I would say, was as pictured. But when you look closer, like, and this doesn't matter, it didn't matter to me, but I'll tell you why I'm being so harsh. Like the cabinets were falling off the cabinet, all the cabinet handles and doors were falling off. Like if you know, looked a little deeper, it was like not maintained is what I'm trying to say. The kitchen, I guess like the high flow traffic areas, you know, the actual living room was very nice. They did have a wood burning fireplace in there, but we didn't bother to do that because it was summer. The air conditioner worked really well. They had a mini split in the living room. It did say in there that the hotter months they had a window unit in the master, which there was not one, but that's okay. I never even slept in the bed. And maybe I'm just a little too much of a germaphobe for this kind of stuff, but like there were just things that upset me about the house. For one thing, I did reach out to them the night before and I asked them, you know, what kind of coffee maker do you have? Should we bring K-cups? Do we need to bring ground coffee? Are there filters? And I asked them, you know, because it says you can't check in till 4, which is like, it's like the whole day, you know? So you're paying for the day to not even be able to utilize the day. So I asked them, you know, what's the earliest that we could check in? And he was like, first of all, I sent it at noon and it said typical response in 2 hours. They read it before 1 o'clock. By 8 p.m., nothing. So I sent a second message saying, hello. Like, I mean, we're packing for tomorrow. We need to know what kind of, like, I don't want to overpack. I want to pack, you know, all this extra stuff because you're not answering my questions. And they were like, we're sorry. It's a Keurig and a Kraft. And we do have coffee filters. So my girlfriend and I packed K-cups. And they said, for early check-in, what time are you thinking of coming? There's an extra charge. And I said, okay, well, how much is the extra charge? Because I felt like, well, depending on the cost, you know, if every hour was X amount of dollars, you know, we'll tell you what time we want to come. And he goes, and they write back again, what time were you thinking? And I'm like, well, I don't know because I don't know how much you're going to charge me, but okay. So I was like, how about 3 o'clock? And then they write back, we'll let you can check in and check out whatever time you want as long as you leave us a good, a 5-star review. And I was like, oh, are they allowed to do that? Like barter for 5-star reviews? Because, you know, then I don't trust anybody's review. And I was like, oh, thanks. So we did go there early. Well, I'm not leaving a 5-star review because listen to what happened. So we get there. I'm very, very unimpressed with the outside. We go to see where we could get to the river. We can't. We climb through the forest to go down to the river. And we get down there and you can't, like all the pictures that they showed us of like where you can actually get to the water, whereas pictures of this private property right next door, like it was like private drive, private this, and I'm like, okay, those rocks were literally in their listing, and it's like on private property. You can't even walk over to them. And later on, we did take a walk and we found the road, I guess, that they were trying to say is their access point to the river. So we went back inside, and when my girlfriend got there, you know, and we were all unpacked, we were like, let's make a cup of coffee and get some energy and, you know, all this stuff. And we go to make a cup of, we go to use the Keurig and it won't brew. It's like, it's the weirdest thing. I don't know where the water was going, but we were getting this much out and then all of the water was missing. But the carafe part was like really hot, like it was trying to brew the carafe. I like go on YouTube, I'm like, am I doing this wrong? It seems pretty self-explanatory. You press single serve cup, you press how strong you want it, you press like the cup size, and then you press start. And every time I did that, it was like trying to brew the carafe side. but our water line would go down and we're using bottled water. And I'm like, I don't understand what's happening. And I go on YouTube and that's exactly how they say to do it. I'm like, okay, we're doing this part right. I don't understand where the water's going. And so then we're like, well, let's just try to make the craft side then. And they had coffee grounds there. So we're like, perfect. Well, there was no filters. So we're searching, can't find filters anywhere. We look in every single cabinet. They said that there were filters there. There's no filters. So my girlfriend's like, I will go crazy. Now you guys know. She's like, I will go crazy if I don't have coffee in the morning. Like we'll need to go to the Dollar General and get a coffee pot. She wanted to buy a coffee pot. She said, I on my last trip, I bought a $19 coffee Keurig cup. Not Keurig, but a $19 K-cup machine at the Dollar General. We'll go and get that again, and you can keep it. And so now, mind you, I'm like, we're looking for a coffee mug, and their coffee mugs were these old plastic scratched up. And I was like, I'm going to get a coffee mug while we're there. I don't want to use these. Like, the one was like melted and had a bubble on it. And I was just like, maybe I sound like a princess. I don't care. Like, I mean, you're paying $600 to stay 2 nights. You'd think that they'd have like some decent, basically all their cookware was disgusting. So, we go to the Dollar General, and the K-cup machine was $32. And they did have a craft, which was $18. And we picked that up, and we're about to buy that. And then we would have to buy filters, because obviously there's no filters there. And we weren't sure if theirs worked, because we weren't able to try it. So we were afraid to even not get something. And we're in the coffee aisle, and I see instant coffee. And I say to my friend, you know what? This is crazy. Buying, an $18 coffee pot that neither one of us are going to use ever again unless we pack it to go away again. I said, it's going to have to sit in our garage or something. I said, let's just get this instant coffee here. It'll be enough for, 2 mornings. And tomorrow while we're out, if we want to get coffee, we're going to be out and about and everything. We can stop and get coffee, because it's not like we're strapped to this house, And so that's what we ended up doing. And I got the Neste something, and it was good. I actually liked it. It was $1.50 a box, or $1, and my girlfriend got Cafe Bustelo instant, and hers, she felt like hers tasted weak. Mine tasted pretty robust. I actually did enjoy it, and she had creamer. She had brought the creamer already. So we just did that, and I bought 2 boxes, and I'm glad I did, because 6 packets came in it, and I did use 2 packets per cup, which I thought it just tasted pretty decent for instant coffee. And yeah, that might be something I pack on every trip, just in case I run into that, because it was so inexpensive. We did find cheap mugs, and we each got a $3 mug. Now, we went after dinner, and while we were cooking, they had, I am going to sound like a prima donna, but this is important. While we were cooking, okay, first of all, I tell my husband, go fire up the grill, because I had gotten these marinated chicken breasts from Wegmans. And so he comes in and he was like, we can't grill, there's no propane. So I messaged them, because their instructions are, if there's no propane, then message us. And I messaged them, and they're like, there should be a tank locked up onto the locked up around the grill with a combo code. You can take a picture if you would like. So I was like, is there an extra tank out there? And he's like, no. So we take a photo. I send it to them. They read it, okay, and don't respond. They respond to that the next morning. So they immediately responded to us not having propane right before we're getting ready to cook dinner. And we're waiting to hear back, and crickets. They don't respond. So my husband's like, just start cooking the chicken in the oven. So then we had to utilize, like, we had to cook everything inside. And like, they had one nonstick frying pan that had all this stuff coming up on it. I hate using frying pans like that because I feel like the black stuff's getting in my food. It just grosses me out. So we're cooking, and I had these sausages that I had cut in half, and I pulled out their tongs, and they were these tongs that had rubber inserted into the metal. And as I'm flipping it, the one side falls out, and I'm just like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, it just falls. It just, I guess, like the heat, it just slips out. And I'm like, ugh, what if there was water or dirt in between the metal and the rubber, and it's in my food now? Like, I was just like not happy. So, while we were at Dollar General, I actually picked up a $3 pair of tongs. And, when we left, we cleaned, we followed all the directions. Their towels, I couldn't use their towel. Thank God I packed 4 beach towels for the dogs in case they got wet. But we ended up using them because their towels smelled like, I washed my face that first night. And when I went to wipe my face, it smelled like, I don't know what it was, but my friend used it the next night. I told her that my towel stunk, and I like put it on the floor, and I finished wiping my face with paper towels because Bob was already sleeping in the room. And the next night she went to wipe her face, and she came out and she was like, oh my God, it smells like onions and garlic. She's like, it's disgusting. Like, and she had, so I gave her one of my towels, and because she was going to wash the towels, she's like, we got to pick up laundry detergent. And she goes down in the basement, which smelled like mildew. And she comes back up and she's like, oh, their washer machine is a beautiful machine, but it's disgusting. Like, nobody's cleaned it. I have it on the wash cycle right now. I said, I am not using towels that come out of from there. Like, I'm fine. I brought towels. I gave her one. I used one. We're here for 2 nights. Like, I can use the same towel. I'm good. Like, I'm not, you don't need to wash the washer for me. I'm not using it. It was just stuff like that. Like, and she said to me, was this a Premier host? And I said, I don't know. You looked at it. You said you sent me this property too. And she said, well, I was at work. I would have researched it more, but I was just so excited you wanted to go away. I just, she told me book it. So we looked, and it was not. And she's like, oh, see, I had all these problems. If it's not a Premier host, she's like, then, they probably had some bad reviews before and stuff. And she's like, yeah, I won't stay at a place that's not a Premier host. And I was like, well, it's good to know. She's like, this is the stuff that you run into. Like, so you want to believe that these people had the nerve to message me and say, we found damages in our house. Okay. Now, mind you, I was going to send them about the coffee pot and about the towels. And Bob was telling me, no, don't. Because I don't know why. He doesn't like conflict. And he thought that it would just come off as being bitchy. But I was like, well, they need to know their coffee maker's broken. And he was like, just stop. You're causing problems. Like, I'm like, what? So we didn't. Like, I had it all written up, and he told us to, like, leave it alone, whatever. Well, then they come at us. Can you believe this? Can you believe this? And they're like, we found damages at our property. We expect the property to be left the way it was found. And they take pictures. You want to know what one of the pictures were? Of the broken tongs that I left on the counter. We cleaned the counter. I wiped all the counters down. We cleaned all the dishes. We had the dishwasher running like they asked. I mean, I wiped everything down, and they leave a picture of the freaking broken ass nasty tongs that I left out so they could see. Like, don't put this shit back in the drawer for someone else to use. Like, you need to get new tongs. They took a picture of it saying that we broke it. Are you kidding me? Your $2 nasty tongs? Like, why wouldn't I have just thrown it out? Like, I'm trying to, like, what? And I was pissed because I should have not listened to Bob and text them and told them all the things that I thought about their house. So and then they took a picture, guys. When we got there, their toilet paper in the bathroom was hanging on. So you know you have towel racks, and you know you have like a hand towel holder, which is and this one, or like a robe holder. It's just like a fancy hook. They had the toilet paper on this hook that was supposed to be for a hand towel next to the sink. Now, mind you, it was like almost like a Jack and Jill bathroom. Like, there was an entrance from the hallway and an entrance from the master. There was only one bathroom. So right directly in front of the toilet was the door to the master. So they couldn't hang a toilet paper holder there, right? So I thought, is that why they're using this hand towel holder for their toilet paper? That's so odd. Why don't they have a stand for it or whatever? But whatever, you know, we just kept putting it up there because that's where it was. Like, you know, we would use it and we would put it back up there. And they took a picture of a toilet paper holder. You could see the drawer open underneath of her. Like, she went and opened up a drawer, pulled it out, and took a photo of the toilet paper holder saying, we broke it. Like, what? I mean, okay, where's the hole in the wall? Where's the hole in the wall where that toilet paper holder was on the wall? Because I didn't see even where a toilet paper holder would go. But yeah, they were trying to say, I was like, this is so unethical. I wrote back, I was fuming. I was shaking. I was like, you know, I didn't even say anything about the towels. I just responded. I said, damages. Are you serious? Seriously? I said, those tongs fell apart while I was cooking. It was disgusting. I left them out so you could see they were garbage. I was going to say pieces of shit, but I was like, so you could see they were garbage and you could replace them. I said, from what I can see in the photo, what she has in her hand is a toilet paper holder, and you can clearly see she pulled that out of a drawer. I said, blaming old damages on new customers is unethical, very unethical. I said, when we got there, the toilet paper was on a towel holder on the wall. And I'm sitting there wondering why they didn't get a toilet paper stand or something. And now you're going to blame us for breaking something that wasn't even in the home when we got there? Are you serious right now? And then they sent a picture of something else I couldn't even make out. It was clearly something else that they had planned to blame us for, because it was either under the bed or behind, like, it looked like, I guess, a strap, like maybe something between the furniture and the wall. Like, I don't know, something that, like, who would even be looking for that when you're just cleaning the house? Like, I don't even know what it didn't, the picture literally didn't even make sense. And I said, as far as the first picture, I have no idea what I'm even looking at. Explain it. And they read my reply, and they literally 2 days ago and have not replied to me. They read it immediately and they did not respond at all. And they had the nerve to try to say we caused damages and then follow that up with, if you have any complaints about our home, can you please let us know before posting a review, as reviews highly impact our business. What? You know what else highly impacts your business? Lying. How about that? Are you kidding me right now? Oh my God. Like, we left your place immaculate. We were there with 2 dogs and you would have never known. Like, we followed all of your instructions. We took all the trash down. We took all the laundry down. We did everything you asked. And we didn't burn any wood in your house outside because it was freaking disgusting. And we left everything in order. Everything. I mean, it looked beautiful in there. All they had to do was probably vacuum and mop. Not that they probably do that, to be honest with you. Yeah. My friend's all upset. She's like, I hope this doesn't discourage you from going away again, because she's been trying to get me to go away for like ever. And I'm like, no, it's not. And, you know, I mean, I haven't been going away not because of this kind of stuff. You know, I haven't been going away because, you know, we just have to prioritize our money elsewhere at the time, you know. So, but Bob really, I mean, listen, the house is what it was, you know, but like, we really did have a good time. Just being away. And Bob said to me, because he kind of fights the idea of going away. But he said to me, this was really nice. Thanks for, you know, planning this. And so he, you know, he's like, it was just nice to get away. And yeah, it was a lot of work. You know, you got to pack the whole car up and everything. But it was fun. And it was like bringing our kid along, you know. So we, aside from the house fiasco, it didn't take away from, you know, our enjoyment of getting away with our friend and our dogs. And we are planning something for my 50th. I turned 50 in November, and I'd like to get a place that our dogs can go to. So yeah, I'm excited. But I wanted to tell you guys that story. And now when I look for something, and we're talking about going to Shenandoah in Virginia. It's in November, so there should be snow, which, you know, is the Moog's favorite thing ever. I don't know how her dog does in the snow. I think she's fine. I don't think she has issues with the snow. But she does like to sunbathe, like even in the hot heat, she'll lay in the sun. My dog can't do that. Like, my dog will get overheated. She has to find shade because she's black. Her dog is a very light fawn, so I guess she does well in the winter. I don't know. I know she went on a snowy hike with her. It's going to be like over 100 degrees today, and Bob took Mugi out last night, and it was like in the 90s, I guess. And when I got home from the gym, he was like, it took her a long time to settle down, like I got scared. So today he said that really all we can do are walks, because he said like she wouldn't stop panting really heavy, and she couldn't relax. Like she kept getting up and pacing and stuff. And he said I started getting worried. So today it's gonna be really hot. I might bathe her outside, because that'll be fun for her to play in the water a little bit. I have to do some education for work today. All right, guys, so I think I'm going to end it here. I hope that explains to you where I've been. I am going to try to make it into my room more. I am still going to the retreat. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm also nervous about leaving my dog. Even more so now, because she is pretty attached to me. And I don't know. I'm going to miss her a lot. It's going to be a long time, right? It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Is it Wednesday? Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday? It's 5 days. Like, oh my God. My baby. She's not going to be happy. But I'm getting... What do you think? What do you think of the spacing? Let me turn this off so you can see. Look how beautiful those squares line up. Isn't it gorgeous? I love Warlow squares. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Keep an eye out for the release of the unboxing and kit up of this. I have no idea what I talked about in that video. I still have to edit it. I mean, obviously I have no idea, because I don't even remember what I talked about last night. But yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you wouldn't mind giving me a thumbs up on the way out. If you want to see more from me, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and join the family and friends here at Kimbaskrafts. I would love to have you. I'm still doing my nails. They're due to be done, but yeah. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. Take care. Keep diamond painting.